Okie doke. So there was a little thing thrashing about there. That was a tail from the crazy lady. All right, so let's come to the mat. And let's stand with our feet about hips width. And if you're not sure what that means, make two fists, put them between your feet, and just nestle your instep to that spot. And we'll just stand there, hands to prayer. And let's inhale the shoulders up toward the ears. And exhale to roll them back and down. You'll feel your chest lift up. Just do that one more time. Inhale forward and up. Exhale back and down. Let's stay here for an inhale. Just imagine putting your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Exhale. Inhale again. And on your exhale, just lower your arms. Spin your palms to face away from your body. Inhale, reach up. And keep your palms facing away. Exhale, knuckles down toward your legs. We'll just do that 2 more times. This is what we did on Friday when you guys were in double pigeon, right before we did the headstand where the arms go out to the sides. So remember what this feels like. As you reach up, your shoulders rotate. Exhale, arms down. Let's reach up for the inhale. Open your eyes if they were closed. We'll bring the arms behind the back, interlace all the way to the webbing. Straight arms, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. You can bend the knees if you want, or have the wrists bent so that the palms are separated. Let's lean the torso to the right. It's a little bend in the right knee. Then you can roll your left shoulder back more. Come through center, over to the other side, lean left, roll the right shoulder back. It should get you another inch or so, and come to center. Relax the neck, and stay in the forward bend. Just release the grip. You can bend the elbows. It's a little easier. Fingers down. Inhale, chest up, and just step to plank. And we'll stay in plank for 3 breaths. The modifications would be knees down or elbows down. 1 more breath here. We'll slowly come all the way to the belly. Exhale. Right arm out to the right, roll onto it. Few breaths. Open the pecs and that right shoulder. And through center, left arm out about eyeball height or shoulder height so that you feel something. And we'll come back through center, hands under the shoulders, elbows in, up dog or cobra, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. 1. I have a weird ankle thing going on, so I will not be putting my right heel on the floor. So if you see your screen and I'm doing something weird, that doesn't mean you should do that. I just have this swollen ankle situation that I think is from too much salsa at home. And 5. After your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale to straight legs. Exhale to fold. Rise all the way up. Inhale. And let's bring the arms behind the back. Hold opposite elbows. Inhale there. And fold forward on your exhale. And let your arms give your torso an extra little nudge into your forward bend. It's quite different trying to bring your head to your shins if you don't have your hands on the ground helping you. Take 1 more breath. And stay low, release your fingers. Inhale halfway up. And step into plank. The same modifications apply. Reassess, what do your wrists need? Is your core strong enough to keep your hips up? On the exhale, just to chaturanga. So only halfway down. Inhale to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. 5 breaths here. That's 2, 3. Keep pressing into your finger pads and that inner hand. And 5. After your exhale, step or jump. Inhale at the top. Exhale to fold. Rise all the way up. Inhale. Take a reverse prayer behind the back. Exhale. And if that doesn't work for you, go for fist bump. We'll fold forward. And we'll try to keep the elbows moving toward each other. And we'll give our torso a little nudge. Woo! I gave it a big nudge. It started to fall over. A little nudge to bring us closer to the legs. And stay low. Release your hands. Inhale. And step into plank. Exhale. 3 breaths here. So while you're here, I'll just tell you what's coming next. So once you lower to your belly, the next time we went to chaturanga. Now we're going to go to chaturanga, but return to plank. If you're on your forearms, just stay there. If you're on your knees, you can keep your knees down. We're just going to exhale to chaturanga and straight arms for the inhale. Then a normal vinyasa, chaturanga exhale, upward facing, inhale, and downward facing, exhale. Let's spin the heels to the left so the toes face the right. Bend the left knee. Keep the shape of down dog so you just stretch through the right waist and lats. John, this should feel pretty good. And spin the toes the other way. The right knee will bend, the left foot will be solid. That's a similar stretch to what you would get in a Parigasana. Let's come through center. After your next exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale at the top. Exhale to fold. Rise all the way up. Inhale. And let's bend the right elbow. We'll hold the elbow with the left hand. We'll try to get our right fingers to the shoulder blades. Bend into the knees like Utkatasana. And either stay here or loop your left arm behind you and grab fingers. Whichever your arms are doing, bend your knees deeply. Press your knees together. And slowly unravel, arms up. And on the exhale, fold straight legs. Halfway up, inhale. To chaturanga, exhale. To upward facing, inhale. Return to chaturanga for your exhale so that you can push plank. Inhale, downward dog, exhale. We'll bring the feet together and just lift the right leg up high. You can stack the hip. You can keep the leg straight or bend it. But try to level out your shoulders. So drop your right shoulder, lift your left armpit. And lower that right foot. Both heels up, inhale. Bend the knees, exhale, look past your fingers and jump. So that you land somewhat between your hands. Inhale, straight legs. Fold, exhale. Utkatasana. Inhale. Left elbow bends. The right hand is going to hold that elbow to help bring it up so that the left arm is just right close to your head. Then you make a choice about your right arm. Press your head back into that left arm. Find that Mula Bandha. So pelvic floor draws up. You can think of it as sitting bones move closer together. And release the arms. Inhale, both arms up. Fold straight legs, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. To chaturanga for the exhale. Upward facing, inhale. And for chaturanga, as your shoulders come down, hips have to go up. And plank, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Feet together, left leg up high. Whatever you did on the other side. It's really common to drop that right armpit down, but if you can keep it up, you'll feel a little bit more like it's a true downward dog. We'll lower that left foot. Both heels up high. Inhale. Bend the knees. Exhale and jump. Inhale when you get there. Fold. Exhale. Bend into the knees. Inhale. And let's interlace the fingers behind the head. And instead of elbows out wide like this, bring them in. You'll feel your forearms just to the side of your head. Then you can push your head back. You'll be a little bit giving yourself a double chin. You can decide how much you want to back bend here. And you'll notice your elbows start to point up to the ceiling. And straighten the arms. Inhale. Fold. Exhale. Halfway up. Inhale. To chaturanga. Exhale. Just a normal vinyasa. Inhale. Downward dog. Exhale. Feet together. We'll rock forward to plank and come onto the left hand, the outer left foot. Side plank. You can do this on your forearm. You can do this with your bottom knee down. It's a lot easier, potentially more fun. We'll just come through center plank, change sides, make a choice about your wrist, make a choice about your right knee, maybe supporting you, so that you don't feel strained or crazy breath. And we'll just come through center, either vinyasa or downward dog. When you get to downward dog, bring the feet together again. Lift the right leg. And again, try to level out your shoulders. So think left armpit up. And step that right foot forward to the hands. We'll come onto fingertips. On your inhale, straighten the leg. You can flex the foot if you want. Exhale, bend. 2 more times. Inhale, straight. Exhale, bend. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Palms flat. Return to 3-legged dog. So it's still the right leg up. Stack the hip. This time, touch your knee to your right elbow. And just try to keep it up there. It's tempting to let it drop toward the ground. A lot of oblique to keep it up. 3-legged dog. Inhale. And step that right foot about 3/4 of the way to the hands. Turn it to face the right edge of the mat. Side plank variation. So now we have the support of this right foot pushing into the floor, helping us get the hips up so that we have an opening in that right hip and glute. 1 more breath here. Same idea on the forearm. If you're down there, it's fine. And we'll unravel. Step back. Vinyasa or downward dog. Now we'll bring the feet together. Lift the left leg up. Take a few breaths here. Try to level your shoulders. Straight arms. And we'll step forward, getting the toes to line up with the fingers. So if it didn't land there, scoot your foot further forward. And inhale, straight leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. If you do have blocks at home, this is a nice one, but you would need them under both hands. Okay, palms flat. 3-legged dog. Knee to the left elbow. And you might have to think in your brain, knee to the shoulder. There's a lot of mind games involved in getting you, or me and all of us, to kind of stay on board with the pose. 3-legged dog. Step forward part way, not all the way. And if it's tight in your left hip, your foot's going to go even further back toward your right foot. So we have all 10 toes facing the left edge of the mat. And we're trying to get the hips up. Lean back. We'll lower that left hand. Step to plank, either vinyasa or downward dog. This time we'll meet on the forearms for down dog B. You can either lower straight there, or first go to your knees, come to the elbows, measure it out, and then lift the knees again. Just make sure your head is off the ground, that your hands are solidly pressing down so that they don't move around. They're not sliding toward each other, ideally. Let's bring the feet together, lift the right leg up, and pretend someone is holding on your ankle and pulling you to straight arms. You end up in just a normal three-legged downward dog. Step forward with the right foot, arms up, high lunge. Let's hook our left elbow outside of that right thigh. The thumbs might be at the shoulder. We're going to push down. I just cracked my back. That felt amazing. And then the thumbs end up at the center chest. Gaze up for one more breath. And we're going to keep our twist. Just look down and step the back foot forward. We end up in a twisted chair. Feet together, knees together, hands together. And then again, you could look up. We just looked down because balance is a lot easier in that case. Let's untwist, straighten the legs and reach up. Inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. And step or jump back to chaturanga, exhale. You can always skip and go right to downward dog if you want. So we'll attempt to get into down dog B from a plank. So we'll rock forward to plank with straight arms. And then as you start to lift your butt, you're going to drop your elbows. And as your elbows go down, you're going to squeeze them in so that they don't land any place other than right behind your wrists. If that didn't work for you to get into down dog B, you just go the way we did before or any other way. Left leg up and pretend someone is pulling on your leg. Chest is going to reach back as if your chest is trying to touch your right leg. You end up in three-legged downward dog. Step left foot to meet or toward the hands, I should say, so that the toes line up with fingers. High lunge, inhale. Into the twist, hook your right arm. I'm going to turn around. So you can look up for a breath or two. Check that your leg is pushing into your arm. Then look down. Step the back foot forward. It might be one step or a few steps. And then look up again when you can. Keep your knee pressing into your arm. And with equal power, your hands press down into that leg. We'll unravel. Straight legs, straight arms, reach up. Inhale. And fold forward, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. And just send the left foot back so we end up in a lunge with that right leg in front. Interlace the fingers behind the back and just reach your knuckles back. The chest will automatically start to angle forward and your upper back will be in a back bend. We're just going to stay here and breathe. And we're going to try to dig that right heel into the floor and spin that right hip back. The stretch will increase thanks to that right hip. Knuckles up a little higher away from your butt. And release the fingers down. Back foot forward, inhale. And right foot back, exhale. So we're just on the other side. You can reach up if you want first. However you want to get into it. Interlace. And lean. Shoulders roll back. And it's like your chest is trying to touch the front edge of your mat. Like there's a race and there's that tape across the finish line. You've seen those pictures of people throwing their chests across that tape. Arms up a little higher. And let's just release the hands down. Step back, exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Right foot forward. High lunge for an inhale. Into warrior two for the exhale. Right palm's gonna face up. Reach up and back. And we'll stretch through this right waist as we reach back. If you happen to have a wall there, if you push your right hand into the wall, it feels pretty good. Next inhale, rise up, straighten the right leg, triangle. Reach out and down. With this left arm, let's rotate the shoulder so that the palm faces the top of the mat and extend the arm over the ear. Gaze at the hand if you can. See that your pinky finger is angling down. That's the same rotation you would do in Baddha, Hasta, Sirsasana C, like what we did Friday. So you're always prepping for those crazy poses. Let's rise up nice and slow. And we'll just pivot around to warrior two on the other side. Maybe you have to adjust your stance because for triangle it's a little different. Here we are, heel to arch alignment. Left palm up. Reach up and back. And the right hand is just sliding down that right leg. The right leg is straight. And we should feel something in the left waist. Let's rise up into triangle. Adjust your feet as needed. And think about your right shoulder. That's what's going to change the positioning of your hand and arm. So it shouldn't feel like your wrist is bending weird or your elbow. It's just shoulder. Let's rise up for an inhale. And take a vinyasa, hands at the top of your mat, whatever that is. I have two tops of my mat. And we'll meet in down dog B again. Potentially go from your plank. So straight arms. Squeeze your elbows in as you lift your butt. You'll feel your triceps work, but you'll end up in the same place. Gravity will get you there. It's just easier to have your hands land properly from the beginning instead of changing them once you get there. Oh my gosh, Sally is like so comfortable on Jules's mat right now. What a cutie pie. Okay, we'll re-straighten the arms, normal downward dog. And let's bring the right hand center so we can step forward with the right foot. Lower the back knee, spin the right foot out and let the knee move away. We'll come down to the elbows. It's like pigeon, just a little more so. Keep everything the same, but lift the back knee. And squeeze the feet toward each other so your hips go a little higher, up. We'll come to the palms again. We'll walk this right foot back a little bit to where it was before in that side planky thing. Or you're going to take hold of your knee and pull it in toward your armpit. Woo! And we'll meet in plank. So wherever you were, right foot steps back, and just downward dog. The left hand toward the center so that you can step your left foot outside of your hand. And start with your knee down, toes move out. And as the toes move out and the knee moves away, the inner edge of the foot is going to lift. But that will depend on your hip. Lift the right knee. Squeeze the feet together and you're going to feel your hips move away from the ground. It shouldn't really mean less stretch though for that left hip. Just a little different and you have to work that right leg more. We'll come to the palms again. Walk that left foot back so that you can be in the side plank with the hip stretch. And either stay there or hold your knee and pull it in. And take your time to get out of there. We're going to vinyasa. And when you get to downward dog, just shake out your head. Lift the right leg up high, inhale, and step the foot to the hands, exhale. Warrior one, hardest pose of all time. Let's do steeple mudra for 3 breaths. So we're trying to get our arms super straight, back leg straight, ribs square. And release your hands to the big toe side of your foot, but keep your legs the same. And draw your belly in so now this mid-back can round a little bit more. We'll bend the elbows, slide the right arm under, and take the arms out like wings. You can drop the head and stare at your left leg, or you can keep gazing slightly forward. Optional Koundinyasana exit from here. So your right leg is already pretty much there. You just lift your back heel. Start to creep your right foot forward till your leg comes up. Then bend your left elbow. I'm going to change my alignment on the mat. So you bend your elbow and catch your ribs so that you can lean forward, lift your left leg, and vinyasa out of there. So you end up in like chaturanga arms, just with your butt kind of balanced over your forearms. Let's bring the left foot forward to the hand. Warrior one, steeple mudra. Interlace the fingers, except pointer and thumb. And release your hands down, but keep your shape of warrior one. And you need to start in this transition kind of pose, you need to start figuring out the core strength for the arm balance to work and for your back to feel happy in this forward bend. So we're going to slide that left arm under the left leg. However far it goes will work. Try to get your arms up. And you're keeping your butt pretty high by squeezing your feet toward one another. And since your butt is up, your head and shoulders can come down. Koundinyasana exit if you want. Hands down, and they're the same distance they'd be in chaturanga, nothing else. Scoot your left foot forward, hips square so your right heel is up, and then just catch your ribs with your right elbow, right leg up. Stay as long as you want. Chaturanga out of there. And we meet in downward dog. Let's step our right foot 3/4 of the way forward. Parsvottanasana. We're going to straighten both legs, heels align, back foot turns out about 45 degrees. Couple options. Keep your hands down, or interlace your fingers and take them overhead like what we did before. Or bend your back leg wrap your hands around the back leg and then re-straighten it by pushing your leg into your hands. And that version really winds up bringing you into a pancake torso to that front leg. Slowly release whatever arms you have. Turn it into twisted triangle. The legs are the same. Left hand down on the floor or the block. Right arm up. Okay, last breath. We'll slowly unravel. Just bend into the knee and step into downward dog. Slowly lower to the elbows. You can rock forward to plank first if you want. That might help illustrate the way that your butt helps shift your weight into the pose. And we'll interlace the fingers. So now we turn it into dolphin. Down dog B is palms flat. Interlace fingers is dolphin. Either stay here or walk your feet in, head down, and lift your legs up. Those of you who have chosen to lift your legs up, you're going to bring your right knee to the chest while the left leg stays up. Then you'll just bring your right leg up and slowly switch sides. So the leg that's up stays pretty strong. When you've done both sides, you'll just meet in dolphin. So our friends that didn't lift up, we end up all in the same spot as them. Feet down, head up. Let's separate the hands, straighten the legs. Left foot 3/4 of the way forward. Parsvottanasana, folding over that left leg. Whichever version you did, if you're going to interlace around the back leg, you have to sort of bend the leg first. Get the grip and then re-straighten. Okay, slip the hands away. Rise up a little bit so that you can place your right hand. Twisted triangle. I'm literally dripping sweat on my mat. So that right hand can be anywhere you need it to be, but we are trying to get the shoulder over the wrist. Takes a lot. Okay, and we'll slowly get out of there. Step back, lower down to your forearms, and interlace the fingers, dolphin. We'll walk the feet in. If you have any neck issues, just stay here, head off the ground, and work on the shoulders. Otherwise, head down, legs up, and we're going to keep one leg up, and the other leg will stay straight. We'll just bring it into our view and maybe closer to the floor. And lift it up again, and just do the other side. So it almost feels like you're coming through a split to try to get the toes down. We're all going to wind up in dolphin again with the feet on the ground and the head off the ground. Breathing normal. And we'll separate the hands for down dog B and straight arms, normal down dog. Let's jump through to sitting. Parigasana. So our left leg straight, our right leg either straight like a 90-degree or folded back. Twist to face the right leg, and then add the side bend. Right arm up, as far as it can go in a big arc over. So the arc is not like a hand close to the head and then reach at the last moment. Try to take up a lot of space. It makes it a little easier. It will make your breath deeper. You can always put a strap on that foot. And this is another one of those poses where if you have a wall, instead of holding your foot, you might even have your hand up pretty high on the wall, pushing. And that feels nice. My house has no good walls really. I have glass doors and screen doors. Nothing I feel comfortable pushing into. Let's rise up and we'll just switch sides. So the right leg will be straight on the mat, left leg either straight 90 degrees off or bend back. Twist to face the left leg. Inhale, extend the left arm up. And as you exhale, start to make that big arc. And it might take a few breaths. This bottom hand is helping you with the twist, helping you to keep the twist as you add the side bend. My kitty is being very cute rolling on her back, but she's just far enough away from this mat to be off camera. But she's putting on a show for me. Okay, so we're gonna slowly come on up out of there and let's meet in a squat at the top of the mat. The feet can be together or apart. I'm gonna wipe more sweat off of me. I feel like summer has definitely shown up this week. Okay, so our back is rounded in a squat. Even if you're up here in ski racer because you've got knee issues, it's still rounded and long kind of stretch in the back. So let's turn it into Bakasana. If you have wrist issues, go on the forearms instead. We're gonna put our knees at our upper arms, shift our weight, bring the feet together, and start to lift your feet up towards your butt. So your back is still rounded, leaning forward, and jump it back on an exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Right leg pigeon. And we'll let that back leg slide back until the right hip is in a nice stretch. If the back foot is too close, like if I was up here, I wouldn't feel anything in the hip. There was a time where I would have. And over the years, you just slide that foot further back. So go to a point that works for you, chest to shin bone. Okay, we're going to rise up, step into plank. Make any of the modifications you need. And we're just going to bring our knee to the elbow and return to normal plank. One more time like that. This time, bend the elbows as you do that and bring your thigh to your tricep and then step it back. So it's like chaturanga arms, but your thigh is going to rest on your arm. Last time, this time bring your ribs of the left side to your elbow, lift. Same spot you were before. Jump it back. Pigeon left side. So that's just one way you could practice approaching that arm balance if it's not coming naturally to you. Takes a lot in the hip to be able to get the leg far enough on the arm. And then it takes a lot of leaning forward. Because you got to counterbalance your back leg with your head and shoulders. Okay, so we'll step back to a normal plank. Make any modifications that you need. And then twice, we're just gonna knee to elbow it and return it back. Knee to elbow, return it back. Then we'll try to go a little further. Inner thigh to tricep, bend the elbows. Step it back. Inner thigh to tricep. Then you can shift your weight further forward. You can use your back foot and start to extend up. We'll meet in downward dog. Let's jump through to sitting. Maybe a two-part jump through like what we did on Friday or some other time. The days all blend. So the 2-part was where you land with your feet between your hands. Then you can slide your hands back, but keep leaning forward. Lift your legs and lower down. Okay, right leg will bend. I have to adjust my pants because they get kind of like clingy. Okay, right foot close to your butt. Twist. Gaze over your right shoulder. Either stay there or hook your arm. Either stay there or bind. So that left thumb is going to move down and around your ankle. Your knuckles will go to your left hip. Once your knuckles are on your left hip, the right hand has a pretty easy time of getting around. This is Sirsasana C, in case you were curious. We'll slowly unwind. John, you're going to stay on your butt and lift your left leg like this. Other folks, if you don't have knee issues, Kristen, you might stay on your butt also. Otherwise, you'll come onto a squat with this right foot and then lift your left leg. We can even get the knees together so that the shin bone just extends out on that same line. And it's a nice balance, and it's a nice way to find the bandhas without having to exaggerate it too much. Belly draws in pretty naturally here. Now let's lower the butt down again. Cross the shins, lean forward, and slide your feet through that tiny little hole that you made so that you can vinyasa. And we'll jump through to sit, either the 2-part or the 1-part. But the trick is to leave your shoulders forward way more than you think they need to be. Okay, left leg bends so that the knee faces up. Hug your knee to your right shoulder and twist. If that's going well, hook your arm. And I'll show you the bind from the back in case you need to see it. So that right hand sneaks around, the palm is open. Then the left hand can just feed itself into that open palm. It's common to use straps here also. And we'll slowly unravel. And if you were to stay on your butt, it's still the same idea. You're pushing your leg into your hand. Even if your knee is bent, because your hamstring says it can't get straight, same idea. Otherwise, come onto your balance. On that left foot, it's a squat. Just a one-legged. And you'll notice the more you push foot into hands, the easier it is to balance. If your leg gets weak, you will fall on your butt. But it won't hurt because the ground is very close. Okay, lower to your butt if you're up. Cross your shins, lift, slide it through, and vinyasa. Okay, we'll attempt Baddha, Hasta, Sirsasana C. I have to wipe the sweat again. This is craziness. Holy moly. Okay. So what we did before was from here. Now we'll just do headstand from here. Those of you not going into headstand, you just keep your head off the ground, feet on the ground. Totally no big deal. So our forearms are like train tracks, parallel to each other. Feet down, head up. And then when you feel like it's time, walk the feet in, lower the head. It's in the same place it would be, kind of between the wrists. Same location in reference to your elbows as your previous pose, as your previous headstand, I should say. So when you want to get out, you can lower to child's pose or chaturanga, and we'll all just meet in a normal downward dog. Let's come through to sitting. We'll stretch the legs out in front of us. Mother of all sitting poses, Dandasana. But instead of the traditional palms flat, let's do knuckles down, palms up. It's just going to have a different stretch for your wrist and forearm. And for a lot of us, after arm balances or chaturangas, we get a little bit sensitive in the wrist. Okay, inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold forward, find your feet. Round your back a little bit, especially the mid-back, to see if you could get the flesh off your thighs. And then rise up. That's more of a prep for what's coming. That is a pose in itself, of course. So right ankle to lower left thigh and lean forward. Hug around your legs if you can. Chest toward shin bone. And we're just going to turn this into double pigeon by releasing that left foot to the right edge of the mat and bringing the chest toward that shin bone. I like to wiggle a little bit right to left here. It just works out a few kinks and lets the chest settle a little bit more. Okay, so we'll rise up. We're going to use that hip opener to help us in the transition through vinyasa. Feel free to skip all of this and just go right to downward dog. We'll lift our butt. We'll slide our feet, or our hands rather, slide them behind, through the inside and then behind for Tittibhasana. So our thighs will be on our upper arms and we'll start to straighten the legs. The way out of this is through Bakasana. So we would lean forward more, bend the knees, and hoist our butt up and back into chaturanga. And we'll meet in down dog whether you went that way or not. And we'll come through to sitting. Again, Dandasana, palms up, knuckles down. And in this pose, practice pushing your pinky finger and your thumb into the ground. That will come in handy with a headstand later. We need to know that we have all of our fingers at our disposal. Okay, shake it out. Left ankle to lower right thigh. Lean back so you can bend the right knee. You can either move the foot or you can move your butt. Whatever is easier for you. You just want your heel and butt as close as you can get them. Then you can try wrapping the arms around the leg. If this is easy for you and your chest is on your chin and you're sitting up and your shoulders feel fine, that just means you're ready to work foot behind the head type of activities. So text me later. Okay. So we turn it into double pigeon. Just scoot that right foot over to the left. Ankles are stacked above knee, knee above ankle. Flex the feet and lean forward. You can rock however you need to. The hands can be in front, behind, or on the sides. We'll do the same exit this time. We're just going to stick in one little piece beforehand. And it will be optional, of course, as it always is. So it'll start the same. Butt up, shoulders down, so that your arms can slide through. Then you'll bring the hands flat. That takes years to do. And you'll cross your feet. And you'll find that this version is actually easier than Tittibhasana, because your feet are pressing into each other. You could stay here forever. Once you start to separate the legs, now you're in kind of the clock is ticking. So the exit, Bakasana, bend the knees, butt up, chest forward. And we'll meet in downward dog. And notice that that Bakasana is a little sloppy. It's just transition Bakasana. It's fine being a little sloppy. Let's come through to sitting. And we'll bring the legs first into this double pigeon shape with the right leg on top. And then we're gonna try to slide them further apart. You might need to sit on a block here. So we're gonna have our shins more or less in a straight line. Thighs are more or less stacked, and we'll fold forward. If anything hurts, either repeat double pigeon or bring your feet closer to your hips. Having them out sometimes in the straight line is a bit difficult. I feel a little bit like my left hip is about to explode. Take one more breath here. Feels good. Then we'll unravel and just balance on the butt for a moment. Nawasana. And just notice how much you have to lean back in relationship to your legs. If you lower your legs, you have to lean back more. If you lift your legs, you don't lean back as far. And we'll take the other side, left leg on top, like you would double pigeon, and then scoot the feet further apart. Flex the feet here. It does make everything a lot easier, and then you can lean forward some amount. Okay, so we'll start to unravel. We'll meet again in that Nawasana pose, boat pose. I'm just gonna check the clock real quick, okay? So let's take it to low boat, just so you can notice how your upper body is affected by where you put your legs. And just go a few times back and forth between the two. And if you have any back issues, just bend your knees. Make it a little easier on your back, less strenuous. Next time you're in low boat, stay there and bring your knees into your chest. Curl your upper back a little more so head and knees touch. And just extend head and shoulders down so you're basically in child's pose on your back. Oh, it feels so good. Okay. Legs up, we'll rock forward and vinyasa or just downward dog. Okay. So in a moment, we're going to try jumping into Bakasana. It sounds worse than it is. Some people put bolsters and blankets in front of them. I find that when I fall out of it, I fall to the side, not forward. But that really hurts wrists. So what you want to do is be very conservative and not fall at all. So we're going to start in down dog. Walk the feet in a little bit, bend the knees, and just very lightly jump your feet forward so your knees can land on your upper arms. And then take it back again to that short little downward dog and do it again. And just notice how when you're jumping, you have to harness your elbows in, just like when we went from plank to down dog B. So try it a few times. It's much better to be conservative and not fall at all than to overshoot and scare yourself and then not want to do the pose for the next 5 years. Gazing forward helps a lot. We'll just take one more, and we'll meet in down dog B. That would be on the forearms with no bend in the wrist, so your wrist can recover from what they just did. And let's lower to the knees, and then just lower to Virasana. So the hands will just slide in, and we end up with our butt between our feet. So John, you can sit on a series of things. I have a bolster here. I can make it even this high if I wanted to. This actually feels amazing. And then I'm just pressing the toenails down into the mat. And there should be no knee pain. We're just going to stay for a moment. Belly in. We're going to let go of the right leg. And John, you're going to turn it into Koundinyasana, that low lunge. Everyone else, Tiriyang Mukha Eka Pada. So that left leg will stay folded back and will fold over the straight right leg. Hands can be like this out to the side, especially if you feel like you're tipping. Once you are not tipping, hands to the foot. And you can still be sitting on a block here. Or of course, you can change what the left leg is doing so that you have no issues in that knee. We'll rise up and bend that right leg so it again faces up like it did before. If this knee is giving you any grief, just straighten it and repeat that Marichyasana C that we did before. If you have no issues in that left knee, keep it that way as you do the same twist. So we're looking over the right shoulder, and the same deal with the bind if you want it. That left thumb guides around your shin bone. The knuckles are by your left hip. Palm is facing open so that your right wrist basically gets fed to your palm. This is Marichyasana F. Take one more breath. And we'll slowly unravel. We're going to meet in downward dog, but some of us won't be able to resist the proximity to Eka Pada Bakasana that we have here. You lean forward, hands down, shin bone to upper arm. Then lean forward more, your right foot is up. And lean forward, look forward, your left knee comes up. And then just drag your left toes along the mat until your knee is close to your chest and the toes can lift. Then jump it back. So that wasn't full pose, but it was the prep for it. And that prep requires a lot of strength. Let's come into Virasana. So in that little prep that we just did, you should be able to have a conscious thought, tell me your name and phone number, and then the leg can extend back. You kind of can't bypass that straight location to have a successful full pose. Okay, send the right leg forward. No, left leg forward, sorry I lied. Tiriyang Mukha Eka Pada Bakasana on side 2. So the right hip is just inside the arch, and we fold over a left leg. And John, you'd be in something like this. This is Koundinyasana, a low lunge, and it's a great stretch for the thigh. There is a little twist here involved. You have to kind of aim your right armpit toward your left foot. And we'll rise up for Marichyasana, C or F. So the only difference is the right leg. The left leg is the same and the arms are the same. When we twist to the left, you can hug your knee to your shoulder or you can hook your elbow. If you're going for the bind, it's the same start as hooking the elbow, but there can be no space here. See how I can wiggle my fingers through? If I could get any more besides fingers through, the bind would not work. Has to be a really tiny space. Then the palm can face out and the left hand can come around. Okay, so take your time getting out of there. So you're already basically in the shape of Eka Pada Bakasana, which is why I could never resist it from here. So you just lean, place your hands like you would down dog. Your left shin bone to your upper arm. It's real easy to get your left foot off the ground. That's not even a real factor. Right knee up. Now this is what people normally do. Take a little look-see at your camera. This is never going to work. So drag your right knee in toward your chest until at some point you can lift your right foot and tell me your phone number. Then jump back. Vinyasa. And then you'll get the strength. Even if it doesn't work right away, at least you're diligently building up to it. And let's come to jump through, landing on your butt. We're just gonna have the legs out straight for a moment. Thighs are gonna roll in, because otherwise this tends to happen. We get into like Netflix mode. Instead, toes face up. We're just gonna drop our ear to the shoulder, whichever side, it's fine. Try not to lean that way, it's just the head that went. And through center over to the other side. Okay, and through center. So we'll come to hands and knees. Few options. Downward dog would be a great option for everyone who wants to avoid the gnarly headstand. So we're going to do the one with the arms out to the side. You prepped for it earlier when you did inhale, reach the arms over the head. Every single time you've gone inhale, you've been prepping for this. Feel free to stay in down dog or do any other headstand or hip opener that you enjoy. So the hands are going to come down. I'm just going to make sure that if I fall backwards, I don't land on anything. So I'll back up a little bit. And the hands will come out to the side. I'm going to think a lot about the shoulders rotating so that my pinkies can be really heavy. And then I'll just lift the legs a little bit. If I can see my feet, there is no danger of falling backwards. So just play with that little bottom piece until you feel like you're comfortable and you have no neck pain at all. Let's take a few more breaths. Jules, can your arms get straighter? Ooh, nice. It lasted for a second. Okay. So take your time. We'll meet back in downward dog. So that's just another one of those poses like jumping into Bakasana, where we just want to be conservative because falling out of it is not fun. If you can see your feet while you build the strength of lifting the legs, then you are less likely to fall out. Okay, let's jump onto the shins again. And lay back. And those of you that are not going to be able to lay back, this is Tittibhasana. You're going to stand on the knees and push your hips forward. So that we're trying to open these hip flexors in the front. It's actually a lot of strength to do it from the standing on the knees position. The Tittibhasana, your neck and shoulders get to be super relaxed, but your bandhas have to engage a lot. You have to think pubic bone up toward your belly button, which in essence negates a piece of this back bend. So we'll start to rise up, and we're just going to bring our weight forward so we can step right foot forward, left leg back. Just an easy lunge. And let's creep that left knee a few more inches back, straighten the right leg, and swivel the hip so the toes face the side of the mat. And some of you know if that's not enough stretch, move your foot further left and then swivel it. Ouchie. It hurts. We try to drop the chest. We'll slowly return to Koundinyasana. Hands to that right knee, chest up. The left hand either to the floor or a block, right arm up and over. And as you're reaching your right arm over, keep bending your right knee. Now your hips will be moving toward the ground, and you'll end up with a great stretch for the waist on the right side. We'll come up through center. We'll interlace the fingers around the back ankle, and we'll just kick. And we'll let the arms stay straight. The front knee still bending as much as it can. So it turns into sort of the spirit of Dhanurasana, of bow pose. And your arms are the string of the bow. You should feel a nice chest opener. And we'll slowly get out of there and just step back to downward dog. Shake out the head. Left foot forward, Koundinyasana. Right knee down. Scoot the right knee back just a bit so that when you straighten the left leg, your right thigh bone is pretty much vertical. Then it's very supportive, and spin your toes out to the left, which just comes from your hip. Put your foot where you need it to be so that you feel something. Okay, and we'll return to Koundinyasana. Hands to the knee at first, just try to nudge your knee further bent. And right hand will come down, left arm up and over. And just stretching through the waist. If you feel like you're ending up sort of here in this forward reaching place, just put your hand behind your head. And it will help keep your shoulders a little bit more in line. Your head can press back. Okay, we'll rise up, bend the back leg, find the ankle, interlace the fingers. If you can, all the way to the webbing. Flex the foot and just let the heel kick away from your butt. And the more your heel kicks away, the more your chest will open. Your front leg is going to respond to the power of the back leg, and it's going to bend more. But take your time, slowly get out of there, downward dog. Vinyasa if you'd like to. And we'll meet in plank. If you're unsure of your ability to lower down to your belly, just come to your knees. We want our hips and chest to land at the same time. So knees up or down, start to bend your elbows, and eventually you land on the ground. Arms by our sides, Shalavasana 8. So press your knuckles into the floor, lift your chest and shoulders up. Remember that you have a thumb and a pinky. Pretend you're going to put your shoulder blades in your back pocket. Open the throat. And then slowly come on down. Hands by the chest, upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Shake out the head. And we're going to come to hands and knees. Few options here. Some of you will be dolphin. That's this hand position with the head up. Some of you will be this hand position with the head up. Otherwise, you're going to go for Mukta Hasta B. Head will come down, arms will come back. Palms are facing up. It's the same hands you just had in Shalavasana. And you start to lift your legs. Any amount. You can work that bottom 6 inches for the next decade. And it will keep you amused. Whenever you feel like you're done with your headstand, change the hands to tripod, lower the legs to chaturanga. And let's all meet in straight arm downward dog. And take your time coming through to sit on your butt. Soles of the feet down. We'll bring the hands back, either straight arms or come to the forearms, depending on your wrists, and we're going to lift the butt. It's a very similar feeling for chest and shoulders, whether you have your arms straight or not. Try to get your hips as high as your knees. And come on down. Straighten the legs, reach forward, inhale, and start to roll down to your back. And you can let the knees bend a bit as you roll down so that you have control. Inhale, arms overhead, and just roll up again for your exhale. Chin to chest will help get you up there. And we'll just do that again. Rolling down. Inhaling when you get there and rolling up. Okay. Let's come into downward dog again to turn it into wild thing. I'm going to move this bolster thing out of the way. Okay, so from down dog, just lift your left leg, take it around. Once your foot comes down to the floor, you can straighten your right leg and reach your left arm away from your head, so you end up with a great stretch through the waist. Some of you bend your right knee. Take it into Eka by swiveling your right hand on the floor. And then all your 10 toes will face back. The way out is just pressing rewind. And we end up in downward dog. We'll try the other side. Right leg up and around. So wild thing is with this left leg straight. It's a great stretch for the waist and the lats of that top arm. If you're turning it to Erdva, this left leg has to come in and bend. Push down to get the hips up so that you can swivel it around. Don't think too much about the hand. When you come back around, just think about the hips. And we'll all meet in downward dog again. Let's come through to sitting. We'll lay down. For Tittibhasana, Sirsasana. Hips up, interlace the fingers, under the back. If you have no back pain, walk your feet in together till you feel your ankles touch and try to get your knees to touch. And you'll feel that your hips are working like mad to keep the thighs together. Let's slowly lower the butt to the forearms and walk your feet to hips width again, or I even go wider than hips width because my back is tight. Let's lift the hips. This time, if you can, place the hands, Eka. So as you're coming up, I'm going to face this way for those of you who are kind of new to this. Come to the top of your head first and make sure your elbows are in. If your elbows are doing this, or your hands are doing something crazy, it will be too hard. So elbows in, roll toward the forehead, and then the arms will straighten, and there should be no pain in the shoulders. It should feel pretty good. And then you can walk your feet in if you want more. And we'll come on down. She always picks the noisy toy when we're in class. It's amusing. Okay, let's go up again. So it should feel like your quadricep muscles are working really hard. Potentially bring your feet together, your thighs together. Walk it out again and lower down. We'll bring the knees in and just rock a little side to side. And we'll rock to one side and sit up and stand on the knees. We'll have our toes curled like this. Because we might take this to Koundinyasana. It depends on how open you're feeling. The toes have to be like this because the legs are going to power it up. So first, let's just put the hands on the hips, press the hips forward, chest up, elbows in. Make sure that's comfortable and that you're not getting a headache, you're not getting dizzy, and then rise up again and just take a seat on the heels. So this is a great resting place between back bends. Feel free to repeat what we just did, or you'd reach up and over. And I'll think hips forward, but there will be a point where they stop moving forward to counterbalance everything else. So I reach toward the back of the mat, and the quadriceps, again, is what powers me into Koundinyasana. The return trip is the same. Hips up, and you end up right where you started. So it's all about where your hips go in relation to your arms, which is not really that different from your arm balances or your headstand or any of those other things. Just that this is a little scarier is the problem. When I assist you guys with this in person, all I do is hold your hips up. So if you can think hips up, then you can get there. Let's try one more time, or any other back bend that suits you at this moment. So it's a big inhale, and we try to make a big arc with the hands. So you take up space, and then you could always adjust your feet once you get there, and come on to the knees again. Let's rest in downward dog for a few breaths. If you have any wrist issues, down dog B instead. And just find that Uddiyana Bandha. So the mid belly is drawing in. It will happen on its own. You can exaggerate it if you want, but just try to pay attention to it. Okay, we'll come forward to the shins again. So this time, last back bend. Some of you are going to wind up in Kapotasana B. We're not going to A, just B. It's in essence the same thing you just did to get from here to Koundinyasana. If you do not want Kapo B, you're going to start to lean back, try to touch your heels, and come up again. And just practice this degree of control with your thighs. Kapo B people, it will just look like this. You'll reach up, inhale, and then the same idea, hands land. But the knees will stay down. And I'll just be here for 5 breaths. So it's not that different from Koundinyasana, except that I can barely talk. And you'll stay as long as you want. You could also reach to a wall instead of the floor. I reached for a wall with Kieran as my teacher for a few years. Eventually, I got to the baseboard and then the floor. So take your time coming to down dog. Do that pose again if it was serving you. And we'll walk the hands back to the feet. Just dangle your upper body for a moment. Then bend the left leg. Place your left hand center and just reach up with the right arm. Just a very easy twist. You could always also take your arm behind your back. And unravel and go the other way. Right knee bends. Left arm up. Or left arm behind the back. And we'll unravel. Walk the hands forward again. And step the left foot between the hands quarter turn to the side for Prasarita D. Reach for the big toes, inhale, and fold, exhale. So the legs are strong here and the upper body is somewhat relaxed. Your upper back is working a bit to pull you in. Should be pretty comfy. Let's straighten the arms. Left hand is going to come down right under the nose and right arm up, twist. You can be with the palm flat or you could be on fingertips. Consider reaching the right arm behind your back. Find your left thigh. It just makes your twist a little bigger. And consider walking your left hand to the right ankle. And again, it makes your twist a little bit bigger. Push hard into your right foot. And slowly unwind yourself. Straighten the arms so that your torso is a little more up. Right hand center. Left arm up. And just take your time going through all the stages. Maybe it stays there or left arm behind the back. Walk the right hand over if you want, left foot. And then it's like you're pulling your right shoulder toward your left leg, but your left shoulder is moving away from that leg. Jennifer Waters would do this in a way that she was so circusy with her back that she could like completely face opposite. It was pretty cool. Let's slowly unravel. Hands will come down, and we'll walk our feet out and have a seat on our butt. So you could go through a Koundinyasana. I made you guys do this a few times on Friday. You just slide your thighs down your forearms. And let's just stay here for a moment. We'll bring our knuckles in. Elbows can drop. And scoot the feet in a little bit closer together. And we'll twist to face the left leg and fold over that leg. Walk into center. Keep the chest as low as you can. Take a few breaths in center. Maybe even bring your hands to the feet to help nudge you forward. And we'll rise up so that we can start it with the twist. Twist toward the right leg. And keep the twist happening as you fold. That might mean that your hands have to stay on the floor to help steer the torso. If the hands jump onto the foot, then your abdominal strength has to do it for you. We'll start to walk hands to the center. They can stay in front and in essence pull you forward, or more like Upavishta Konasana, hands to the feet and chest down. Let's rise up, bring the soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana, inhale, and on the exhale, fold forward. Try to get your third eye to touch something here. So if that means that your elbows are down, maybe you're in prayer and your thumbs can go there. Or if you're a little bit lower, you could put fists and drop your head to the fist. You can use a block, or if you're going to the floor, you could just use the floor. And we'll rise up. Bring the right foot either to a half lotus or somewhere in that vicinity. Left foot either under the right knee, or if your knee goes to the ground without your foot under there, then you can bring your other leg up. So it's lotus. So somehow crossed. We're just going to lean back a little bit. I'll face this way. And we'll just lift the legs. So it's kind of like Navasana, but if your knees are bent, it's a lot easier. Then give yourself a little hug and round the back. You can even interlace your fingers, and then your arms don't even have to work very hard. You're just sort of stuck in this little rounded ball position. We'll try to keep the knees high up. We'll just release the hands down. Utplutihi. Lean forward so you can lift your butt. And for those of you that are wanting to learn jumping through, this is a really important aspect of that. How you can lean forward enough to get your butt off the ground, and how you can lift your knees up toward your shoulders to get your legs off the ground. Let's come on down. Slowly unravel yourself and lay back. Take whatever last pose you need. It could be a twist from your back. It could be another inversion. Whatever suits you. Take a few more breaths. Take your time rising up to sit. And again, bring the hands to prayer and have your thumbs at the third eye. Take a deep inhale. And exhale there. Inhale again. And exhale to fold forward. Inhale again. Namaste. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming.